Good morning. Well, what will I talk about today? Actually, real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and buy some pork ribs, and I'll bake those in the oven and get them nice and delicious. And I have barbecue sauce for them, of course. And I do have a little bit of my homemade ketchup left, which I'll maybe I'll go ahead and add a little bit of chipotle juice or something to it to kind of smoke it out a little bit. Of course, I do have some liquid smoke. Yeah, maybe I'll use that. Or just eat it like it is because pork ribs are delicious. I mean, just by themselves anymore. Um, but let me talk a little bit about nausea. When I was first starting out with keto and I got off sugars, I had to deal with a certain amount of nausea, and that came from my electrolyte imbalances. As you get into it and you learn like a little more about what you did do, I mean, I jumped in with just 2 feet. I said, well, I got nothing better to do, so let's just do this keto thing and be done with it. But as your body loses glycogen everywhere, I mean, I think you can store about a pound of it through your muscles, liver. And when that goes away, obviously the 3 pounds of water that goes with it drains also. Your body can't do anything with it. So you chiefly lose salt. Now your kidneys will take care of potassium. Though, if they notice nothing's coming in, they will withhold it. So potassium's rarely a problem. And that's across the board. All these doctors talk about that. Your kidneys are very good. As a matter of fact, they won't allow one element of potassium to leave your body if you don't have it. Salt's another thing, and salt and stuff will come out in your sweat. Um, sorry about that. I was under the car this morning just looking at something. So then why 6.5 months into this thing should I start getting nauseous? I was thinking to myself, that's horrible, because last night I woke up about 1 o'clock and I was feeling like linga. Well, I did eat gorditas yesterday, so we went out in the morning to eat. And if you know anything about Mexican food, Mexican food, spoonerism, it's very spicy. And I had 4 meats. I had chicharron duro with in molcajete sauce. So that's going to have serranos in it, really spicy chilies. And then, but you might not notice it at the time. Then I had pork and pasilla, and then I think another pork. Can't remember exactly what it was. It wasn't super high on the spice food chain there, but and then a fourth meat. So I had like these 4 meats and cheese over the top. It's delicious. And then they give you this, what they call here guacamole, which is essentially pureed avocado and spices. So I'm sure there was serrano in that because I could taste it. I was like, that was pretty spicy. But I'm one of those, I just pour it all over. I used to be able to handle spices like a champ, right? Well, it turns out that would be about 14 hours after I'd eaten, and it's probably winding up in a place in my gut where it triggers, bruh, you got some chili in you. And I have been nauseous before with chili if you eat too much of it. And although it didn't taste too chillified, my guts know better, right? So, and that was it. That was the reason for the nausea. Some people think it's a meat aversion. Some people think it's this, it's that. Look, you get nauseous for a few reasons. Either you're sick, you have a fever, you are electrolytely imbalanced, or you're in Mexico and you eat a lot of chili. Okay, and it's not when they call Montezuma's Revenge. How cute! Yeah, the water. Grow up. Okay, it's not the water. It really is, folks. Of a non-Mexican complexion come on down here, okay? And they go ahead and imbibe in the local fruits and vegetables, all right? Number one, you're in a place that's pretty native where food is concerned. We don't add poisons to our food, and we have a lot of chilies in our food. And if you're not used to it, you're going to have a response. Your body's going to go, wait, this is something new. What the heck did you just do to me? And when I got down to Mexico, my first real, I'd come for 2 weeks at a time. But when I got here, friends, I was like sicker than a dog. And I didn't equate it to the fact that I went back to kind of looking at what I was eating, the standard American diet, pretty much. I mean, I was, a hamburger, chips guy, sodas, of course. Here, when I got here, the Cokes were still made with sugar, not high fructose corn syrup. That's huge. I mean, that's huge. That's 5% right there. That's high fructose corn syrup has 55% fructose, where your regular cane sugar is less by 5%. Well, that's 5% less the liver has to deal with. So I got down here and I was sick, man. And I'm thinking, yeah, but there's nothing I should be sick about. What would I be sick on? And I actually said it's withdrawals from the food up north. Because now that I can compare and contrast with actually going through a second set of withdrawals when I went keto, it's exactly the same. You get nauseous, you vomit, you may have diarrhea, you'll have the symptoms of withdrawal. The only difference between what I would go through and what a drunk would go through is that the drunk, since 10% of the alcohol gets processed in the brain, he may go through some psychotic episodes or delirium tremens, which I didn't have, obviously, because my brain was not being damaged by the alcohol. If you're a drinker, a heavy drinker, and I have some friends who are, and you just jump on keto and you get rid of alcohol, sugar, and everything, oh my God, may God have mercy on your soul, bro. You are going to go through all of it, and it's going to be quite the shock to your body. So again, if you're feeling nauseous, obviously go through the standard, do not reach for medicines, for Christ's sake. This is not what this channel is about. Please, no supplements, no medicines. You know what, if you need to take that stuff, then you're not on a proper human diet. I'm talking about like paleo, but without the fructose, okay? That's all I am, man. Paleo, no sugar. And that means I'm not going to eat native rice, I'm not eating grains, I'm not eating sugars of any kind, I don't eat fruit. And I'm certainly not going to eat those ridiculous seed oils. I wouldn't even give seed oils to my worst enemy. That's how poisonous they are. They will kill you. Don't worry about your mask. Worry about your flask. Okay? Your little flask of seed oils. It's much more important that you do away with, okay, than anything else. After you've done all that, and take a pinch of salt, put it under your tongue, let it sit there for a couple of minutes, follow it with a little bit of water, and if that still doesn't cure it, revise what you ate yesterday. Did you eat something you've never eaten before? Did it seem a little spicy? Did it seem a little full of spices, even though it's not spicy? Like, I had a response to chicken masala when I ate it. We were in Phoenix, and there's a beautiful Indian restaurant, and they make like the best chicken masala ever. But the amount of spice, I felt like I was on Dune, man. I mean, it was delicious, but you're just sitting there and you just reek of the spice for like the next day as it just comes out everywhere. I mean, some people go, why do some people have certain odors, man? It's what you're eating, friend. But if you're eating your standard American diet and you're just putting down some bread, I don't care if it's whole grain. Don't go there with me, seriously. But you're eating, 50 to 60% of all your calories in grains. Not enough protein to help rebuild you. You're definitely not getting enough nutrients in what little vegetables you eat. And limiting your fats is absolutely ridiculous because you're going to be so hungry not having eaten enough protein and fat. And it's weird because your insulin's going to rise. And that means you don't have access to the hundreds of thousands of calories you have already packed on in the form of fat. So you are literally stuffed, starving to death. Maybe I'll do a more intricate video on how that works. But if you don't drive that insulin down, you ain't gonna lose weight. Oh, I lost 10 pounds. Yeah, that's because you already weigh 200 pounds and you lost water. Bravo. You didn't lose not a lick of fat. All right? And I know this, unless you're not human. If you're human, then what I just said is a fact. Punto final. Put a bow on it. Put a little casket, bury it, put a headstone. That discussion isn't going to be made. Unless you show me a site, show me a website where somebody gets on there and talks about how water weight is the same and you'll lose fat and blah, blah, blah. And then there are some gurus out there who will do that. And then sustain it. Go ahead and hold it for a year. I don't know how your willpower is. Mine is iron. And I have been commended on my willpower. And I couldn't even do it. All right? I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just saying we're different. I have iron willpower. If I choose, it's not going to happen. Boom. Then it does not happen because I told myself it's not going to happen. All right? So just to kind of wrap up, ribs today. If you feel nauseous, check on the amount of chili. You know, even those little thingies, they taste really good. Those little jalapenos you're eating with your hamburger. Ooh, Nelly, those will go through you. They come out fighting. Boudreaux? All right? So we'll talk to you guys on the next video, and we will let you know how the pork went. Bye.